Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are you all today?
Wonderful.
Wonderful and great and awesome, and it's becoming beautiful temperatures outside. So we're happy. This is a GBR Forum Club. Each Wednesday morning, we have presenters on a wide range of topics. And we're really expensive, as some of you who paid this morning found out. We charge $2 for the whole year. And we start in October, we go through April. And that's a lot of presentations for $2. But our presenters are free, and we actually get a lot of people. I've received email from people who want to present to us. They must have heard we're a good thing. Next week, it's going to be a little different. We're going to have Let's Dance. And a couple will be on the stage behind me. I've met them and looked at the place over, and they're a very outgoing, social couple, and I think it ought to be fun. They're going to show you that
This is
you can dance
presentation
to most
about
any music,
Green Valley
and
Council.
they're going to show you enough steps to be able to do that.
I have
Okay. Some of you may remember we had
people in case I need it.
last year that did the Argentine tango.
You have to go by
And
one of the
it was
centers.
so popular, I said, hey, let's try it again. So that's next week. That will not be on Zoom because we're going to be up on the stage. Okay, the other thing I do try and do every time is tell an Ole and Lena joke, right?
You want this
Okay,
in closer?
Ole and Lena, do you know who Ole and Lena are? No. Ole and Lena are this
No, it won't
fictitious
fit.
Norwegian
why they've
couple
got it
from
set up that way.
Minnesota. Not the brightest people in the world. They get along with each other. And being Norwegian ancestry myself, I can tell the joke about my people. We don't get upset or anything else. Anyhow, Ole and Lena were sitting at the kitchen table one day and the telephone rang. And Ole went over and answered, and he said, oh no. He got done and Lena said, what was
Yeah,
that?
that's exactly.
I just got bad news. My father just passed away. Well, they were sitting there and a little while later, the phone rang again. So Ole went over and answered it. And he got done and he said, oh, we got more bad news. That was my brother. His father passed away too. I'm going to give you one more because they said they were going to be not taking the entire hour. Lena was complaining to her friend Olga that, you know, my brother has 4 sisters, but I only have 3. Lena said, I only have 3. All right, David and Debbie are going to be here talking to us about what's happening with the GBR Council. David is new, relatively new, and I've met and talked with him in the past a couple of times, and he's going to tell us all the wonderful things that are going on. So here they are. And I want you in front of the camera. The camera is right there.
Well, I'll start out with an apology because I have another meeting that I have to go to, but I'm leaving you in very capable hands. David was hired at the end of last year to be our new executive director. So he truly is a youngster. We just celebrated his 39th birthday on Monday. So he's going to be here for a long time helping the council. But he came on board and has really helped shift us in a direction that is far more meaningful and impactful for the community. So he's going to show you a presentation that we put together. And it's basically a community presentation about what the council is, what the council does, and the future of the council and how it's going to impact our community. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you to my wonderful executive director, David McAllister Romo.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to everybody. Just really quick before we start, who is familiar with the Green Valley Council? Anybody work with us, stop by our offices, go to one of our forums? Anybody? Okay, got a few people here in the audience. So like we said, we're gonna have a little bit of a presentation. This will give you just an overview of who we are, what we do, how we do it. And then after that, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer those. So, and then of course, if anything comes up in the meantime, please feel free to stop me and I'll be happy to address anything that comes up. So a little bit about the Green Valley Council. We are not new to Green Valley. We've been here since 1973. We are the civic representation of the Green Valley community, and I've been doing that. Next year will be our 50th anniversary. So we're very excited about that. So a little bit of common history for those that are not familiar. Green Valley actually developed by the Maxson Company in 1964. It was intended as a affordable retirement community for educators coming out of the city of Tucson. It was provided for the teachers essentially. Once they went into retirement, they would get these homes here in the Green Valley community. And at that time, of course, there wasn't much down here in 1964. So in 1964, the Maxson
Randy's
Company
coming
held the
over
grand
to work on the
opening
front door that won't
of the
close.
community of what was then called Tucson Green Valley. It's not just Green Valley. And so at that time, there were about 500 people that relocated here. And Fairways 1 and Fairways 2 were the only HOAs out here. So in 1969, from 1966 to 72, we saw a great deal of growth in the Green Valley community. People kind of flocked down here, and for good reason. This is a wonderful community. And in that short period of time, our population grew from 500 to 3,000. And our HOAs grew from 2 to 6. In 1969, the 6 HOAs got together and they said, well, we're not an incorporated city. I don't think we need to be at this point, but we definitely want someone to represent us. We want somebody to represent us with the county of Pima, with the state of Arizona, with the federal government. How do we do this? What can we do? So the Fairways HOAs got together and they said, you know what, we're going to create the Green Valley Coordinating Committee. And we'll do that. We will represent Green Valley. We will communicate our needs. We will secure services. We will basically be the voice of Green Valley. And so as the HOAs started growing, as the population
Lost sugar, you can eat it.
more HOAs joined in and became part of the unified voice of the Green Valley Coordinating Committee. So in 1971, we decided that we wanted to have our own fire protection. We needed our better community security. We needed services like waste disposal here in Green Valley. And the Green Valley Coordinating Committee actually stepped up to the plate and said, you know what, we're going to take these on. We're going to take responsibility for this. And of course, in 1972, we had the Green Valley Fire District that came into existence. So on June 23rd of 1973, the Green Valley Community Coordinating Council became legally incorporated as a 501c4 nonprofit, and again, took the role of being the official voice of Green Valley. And as we are today, HOAs signed on as members, and they provided the direction and financial support to the Green Valley Community Coordinating Council. Later that month, in June 1973, the GVCCC published its stated purpose, the mission to promote the best interests of Green Valley, and the coordinating work that it does to identify community problems and create solutions, and the duty to represent Green Valley at the local, county, state, federal, and tribal levels. So since 1973, 50 years next year, we are now the Green Valley Council, Inc. We're no longer the GVCCC, but we still continue that same mission to promote the best interests of Green Valley, to identify community problems and create solutions, to grow strategic partnerships, and to represent Green Valley with all these local governments. So This was one of the original quotes about the incorporation of the Green Valley Council. It says the Green Valley Council is the catalyst which brings all the problems of community growth, development, and change together for the community solution in action. It connects Green Valley with the rest of the world. And the reason we chose this out of the many quotes is because we really think that this really encapsulates what the Green Valley Council is, because it's not us, it's the community. The community and all of the organizations that are in our community are, what creates the Green Valley Council. We come together to find solutions to problems, to pursue development, and to make the interests of Green Valley first and foremost in everything we do. So how does the Green Valley Council work? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. So we have individual homeowners who reside within a member homeowners association. And these member homeowner associations then comprise the Board of Representatives. The Board of Representatives oversees everything we do and everybody we have within our organization. They're the ones that are our voting members. They dictate policy, they give us guidance, and they're the ones that direct us towards issues in our community. Under the Board of Representatives, we have the president, who you met. We have 3 vice presidents. We have a treasurer. We have a corporate secretary, excuse me. We have members at large.
We are watching a Zoom presentation on the computer. So anything needs,
So
just let
the
us
way
know.
it works is that each member HOA gets 1 representative to serve on the Board of Representatives. So we currently represent about 84 HOAs here in the Green Valley community. So there are 84 total representatives on the Board of Representatives. We'll get to me later. So there is a separation between our officers and our administrative staff. So I lead the administrative staff. So we'll touch on that a little bit more towards the end of the presentation, but good question. So the role of the GVC, what do we do here in Green Valley? Well, I touched a little bit upon that with our kind of our mission statement, but essentially we provide the best and most responsive service to Green Valley residents by growing and maintaining partnerships with key organizations. So we are continuously developing partnerships. We work with every nonprofit that serves Green Valley. We work with our first responders. We work with our county officials. We work with our state officials. We work with state departments, so forth and so on. And it's through these strategic partnerships that we're able to get the programs and services and resources that we need here in Green Valley. So that's something that we are always looking to grow. And we'll give you an example of who exactly we partner with moving forward. And the second one, this is a big one, but we always promote the best interest of the Green Valley community by disseminating information for key partners. So we see our role here, one of our primary functions is to keep Green Valley informed, to provide the informational resources. And for anybody who's attended one of our forums, that's just one of the many facets that we use to get information out. So last Friday here in this room, we had the Arizona Registrar of Contractors who were telling people, how to avoid common scams when it comes to contractors, the types of things you need to know when you hire a contractor, what they can and cannot do for you, how to protect yourself, what the 9 things that you should be putting in every contract when you have some work done on your house, things of that nature. So we do forums generally about once a month with varied topics, anything, for example, on November 3rd, we're having a community safety forum where we have all of our first responders and ancillary agencies, like, for example, Firewise will be there, CERT will be there, and they'll be talking about, well, one of the biggest topics we're going to be talking about is the 911 system in Green Valley. And this is important because we have people in Green Valley that come from all over the country. And every different part of the country has a different 911 system. And we often get residents here who have an emergency, but they don't know it's an emergency. Because back where they're from originally, some 911 systems say, hey, unless your house is burning down or, you're in desperate, need of life-saving, don't call 911. We don't do that here. In Green Valley, we call 911 for everything. And so we're going to have our sheriffs and our first responders talk about that as well as some other community safety information. Yes, ma'am. The forum will be held at West Center, yeah, at 10 a.m. on November 3rd.
Are they always there?
No, they are not always there. We do these forums about once a month, and then we publish them through our office. So another role of the GVC, we ensure that there's bilateral communication between Green Valley residents and Pima County. So we work most closely with Pima County, obviously, because we are in Pima County and we are an incorporated town. And so having that relationship with Pima County is critical to everything we do, to the services we do. As you know, being incorporated, for example, we don't have our own police department. We have the Pima County Sheriff's Department. We have the Green Valley Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers. And so for us to do what we do and to keep Green Valley informed and to keep our resources down here, we need to have a very robust relationship with Pima County, which we are very fortunate to have. We engage community members.
Are you going to put your
We
feet
do
under there or
anything
not?
from like what we're doing here today to our forums, to our regular meetings, to our business meetings, to our community events. You know, we're always available in the office if anybody needs anything. So that's really kind of our primary mission. We don't like to stay in the office. We like to go out and meet people. So to represent Pima County government through 8 standing committees. So we have a contract with Pima County. We are contracted with them to provide services here in Green Valley. And the way it works is essentially the departments that Pima County has, we have. For example, they have an environmental, we have environmental. They have a health and human services, we have health and human services. And it's through those committees that we function and correlate our work with the departments up in Tucson. So we facilitate service requests and responding to inquiries from Green Valley residents. Many of you has anybody called us for a road fix or a pothole fix or, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, that's just one aspect of what we do, but we do a little bit of everything, including, you know, people call us all the time and, you know, if there's an issue with a road or a pothole or things like that, those are service requests that we put in and get addressed. We serve as the apolitical voice to represent all of Green Valley. It's something that we take a lot of pride in. You know, we work with everybody and we do what's in the best interests of the Green Valley community, and we represent everybody. And then, of course, we always promote the best interests of Green Valley, especially when we're meeting with the county or the state or tribal governments. So again, a little bit of what we talked about, our role with Pima County government. So we facilitate communication, we do service requests and inquiries. We have our 8 standing committees. We have an ad hoc emergency task force. The last time this came into effect was during COVID. And this is at the mandate of our District 4 supervisor, Supervisor Steve Christie, for those of you who are familiar with him. We host our GVC forums and presentations. We distribute resources and materials, and we have special programs and projects. But again, one of the roles that we take with government is we always represent Green Valley at key governmental functions and events. So we always try to advocate for our community here, and we always try to make sure that we're not disregarded just because we're in an unincorporated community to the south of Tucson. We always provide input on behalf of Green Valley for county or region-wide or even statewide strategic plans and initiatives. We're very involved, for everybody who's familiar with the RTA program, the Regional Transport Authority program, that provides funding for projects in our area, anything that's transportation related. So we always advocate for Green Valley. We allocate resources and services for Green Valley. And we serve as a medium for residents to communicate with Pima County and our District 4 supervisor. So a little bit about our 8 standing committees. So we have a Citizens Corps emergency response, and this is the committee that works with our first responders, with our emergency community agencies, agencies like CERT, like Firewise, and of course, you know, our Sheriff's Department, our Sheriff's Auxiliary Department, and the Green Valley Fire District. We have a Community Services Department, and they collaborate a lot of the work that we see with our service providers, anybody, nonprofits that help serve people here in the Green Valley community. We have an Environmental Committee. Obviously, the environment's very important here. We focus on things like air quality, We look at other environmental impacts that are innate to our region here in Green Valley. We have our Health and Human Services. And so Health and Human Services, we work with Northwest Hospital in Sahuarita. We work with our Green Valley Fire District. We work with our other first responders. We really work to kind of encompass the need when it comes to health and human services here in Green Valley. So very important one. HOA relations, we coordinate with our member HOAs. We do quite a bit of work with our HOA presidents, the vice presidents, their communication chairs. And we really just try to facilitate communication between HOAs. We try to resolve problems together. We come together once a month. We meet. We talk about what's working in our HOAs, what are the issues that we're seeing in our HOAs, and how we can work together to fix those issues. Our Parks Advisory, as you know, we have some wonderful parks here in Green Valley. The Parks Advisory Group works directly with Pima County Natural Resources, Parks and Recreation, and Flood Control District to make sure that our parks are not only beautiful, but we also work with a lot of the projects and the programs that you see that we have our parks, including our upcoming concert here on Friday. Planning and Architecture, this is a key committee. So essentially we review anything that's being proposed to be built in Green Valley. So right now we are working on Block 27S. It's actually a development over by the Canoa Hills Golf Course. It's a new proposed project by Fairfield. And so we're working with them, but essentially we do a complete architectural review. We meet with the developers, we meet with the county, and we make sure that what they're proposing to build is good for Green Valley. And lastly, we have our traffic and arroyos. As you know, here in Green Valley, we have 27 arroyos running through our community. And when we get the rains, they tend to act up. Traffic and Arroyos Committee is also responsible for road maintenance, road repair, and road mediation. We also coordinate with Pima County to develop a road repaving schedule for each year. So, yes, sir.
So who serves on these committees? Is it part of that 84 people or the local residents serve on those?
So anybody who resides in a member HOA can step forward and serve on a committee. However, these committee meetings are open to the general public. Anybody in Green Valley can attend and is welcome to attend. And we have the information on our website. We are also featured in the Green Valley News. And we also have information that we put out. If you sign up to receive our emails, you get a notification on the date and times for these committee meetings. And like I said, they are open to the public. Anybody is more than welcome to attend.
Architecture committee.
Yes, sir.
Like you're reviewing this new development up there by the golf course.
Need an outlet?
Yeah. This thing sucks. We don't work. Water. How you doing?
I don't know.
They didn't put it.
Planning commission.
The Pima County has the final decision. They're the ones that have the final say, so yes or no. However, they do, our opinion, our recommendation, the formalized report that we give to Pima County bears a lot of weight. And that's the reason why we are step one. When somebody wants to come to Green Valley to build and they contact Pima County says, if it's in Green Valley, you need to talk to the GVC. And so we go through a review process. Now, for those of you that are interested in finding out more about this development, the possible impacts and what the community feeling is, we are having a meeting on November 17th at 1 p.m. at the Canoa Hills GVR facility. We will be reviewing the plat maps. We will be meeting with the developers and the architects, and they will be there to present and to answer any questions that we may have. And this is one of the many steps that we have to take before we make our final recommendation to Pima County. But to answer your question succinctly, yes, Pima County is the one that has the ultimate say yes or no. We do not have that, unfortunately.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Health and Human Services Committee.
Yes.
Have they looked at anything about the hospital that's gone defunct here in Green Valley?
We have worked, we worked with the hospital before they came into existence. We worked with them throughout their life, and we continue to look at other avenues to hopefully get another hospital here in Green Valley. Unfortunately, we don't have any updates at this point. At this time, we are looking at different avenues. We are very obviously concerned about the services that have gone away since that hospital unfortunately went out of business. One of the biggest things we're looking at is to make sure that we are able to continue services and we're able to expand services for people here in Green Valley. One of the biggest issues that we're trying to tackle now is many of our Green Valley residents, unfortunately, have to travel to Tucson to get any kind of specialty care or specialty surgeries or things of that nature. And so we are currently focused on that, trying to bring those services down here, trying to find alternatives so that our residents are not dependent on going to Tucson for their healthcare needs. But as far as the hospital is concerned, we are still working on that. But as of now, there's nothing new that I can provide, unfortunately. So really quick, I'm just going to go through the administrative committees. These are our internal committees, and these kind of just oversee, they're under the direction of the Board of Representatives, but we have our executive committee, we have our nominations committee, our personnel committee, we have a committee that overlooks our bylaws, our financial development, communications, and of course our emergency task force, which is usually at the direction of our District 4 supervisor. So a little bit about our role within Green Valley. We talked about the partnerships. We talked about holding meetings and providing information. You know, I'm just going to point out some of the biggest ones. So I think one of the biggest ones that we do is that we make sure that Green Valley has a voice. And that's why we call ourselves the voice of Green Valley, because, you know, as was started 50 years ago, because we aren't an unincorporated city, you know, oftentimes we kind of have to really be vocal about our needs here and make sure that we get the programs and the services and really advocate. So that's something that we take a lot of pride in. We meet regularly with the county administrators, with Pima County. We have quarterly meetings with a lot of the state organizations. We just recently met with ADOT to try and work out, you know, more information sharing on what's going around on the I-19 corridor. We put out a call to comments. And maybe some of you actually participated in that. For those of you that did, you know, we thank you for that. But really, that's kind of our primary role here is we speak for Green Valley. We make sure that our voice is heard and we make sure that we're not ignored down here. So, of course, you know, the other side of that is we make sure that the information that comes from the state agencies, that comes from the county, that comes from the federal government is communicated here at Green Valley. So if anybody is interested in a particular area or has questions or concerns about something, stop by our office. We have a wealth of information, handouts, presentations, you name it. We're pretty good at getting answers for you. Our office is 555 North La Cañada, Suite 117. For those of you familiar with the Salvation Army, we're right next door to Salvation Army. It's La Cañada. If you just head north on La Cañada, we're on the left side next to the Catholic Church there. So we actually share space with the Catholic Church. If not, you can also check our website, gbcouncil.org, and that has information to get us there. Like I said, you can call us, you can email us, or you can stop on by. We're happy to take some time and talk to you. So, of course, we talked about the service requests. You know, one of the biggest issues that we look at now is collecting community feedback, and that's kind of again the model that we operate under. Is we are not an organization that dictates what's in the best interest of Green Valley. We advocate what's in the best interest of Green Valley because we depend on our residents to tell us what they need, what they want, what the issues are, and how we can fix them. So feedback is very important for us. And it's that feedback that we then take to the county, to the state, to the federal government, and to the tribal governments. So that's kind of a big part of how we work. And then, of course, we maintain databases and we respond to all inquiries for information. So we're pretty good at getting it.
Not anything you can do about it.
So here are some of our community partners. These are people that we work with on a regular basis, some of which we work on a daily basis. So our District 4 supervisor, Steve Christie, his representative, Tom Beresny. We work with CEO Scott Summers of Green Valley Recreation. We work with Lieutenant Paul Hill, who is the commander of the Pima County Sheriff's Department here in Green Valley. Commander Kenyon of the Green Valley Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers. Chief Chuck Wonder of the Green Valley Fire District and his staff. Randy Graff and the Green Valley Sahuarita Chamber of Commerce. We work with Chris Erickson, CEO of Valley Assistance Services,
Hearing aids.
the Arizona Registrar of Contractors. We work with Michelle Phillips of the Greater Green Valley Community Foundation, Brett Lee from Northwest Hospital at Sahuarita. We work with John McGee from CERT, the Community Emergency Response Team, great program. We work with Santos from the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona, Green Valley. Paul Lumens from Posada Life Community Services, Green Valley News, the Pima County government as a whole, and the Pima Association of Governments. So this is just a broad overview of some of the services that we provide to our members and the services that we provide to our non-members. So we do have a preferred vendor program. So the preferred vendor program is essentially a program that we developed it was one of those things that residents brought up to us, and we thought it was a great idea. The issue that they were having was whenever they needed a contractor or a handyman or any kind of business,
The cactus.
a lot of our people would call up and they'd say,
And you go
you
put
know, I'm having an issue because I hired somebody and they flaked out on the job, or they
Lots
didn't do
of
a
stickers
good
in your-
job, or we're having issues with them.
God
Do you
damn,
know
it's
somebody?
stupid sometimes.
Just after a while, we said, well, you know, let's put together this list. So
Way.
we independently vet these businesses, these organizations. We put them through a rigorous screening process. We are constantly monitoring their performance, their complaints. We get independent feedback. And so we created this preferred vendor list. And these are all the vendors that we've vetted that we know do a great job. And that way it just removes some of the uncertainty of like Googling somebody or opening up the yellow pages and taking a gamble. So we also offer a notary service. We have 3 notaries on staff currently, working on a 4th. We provide forums. We have board training. So we do train board officers, anything from presidents, vice presidents, treasurers, secretaries, communications people, and representatives. We do HOA mediation. So oftentimes we're called into an HOA, usually to settle a dispute between a resident and an HOA, or an HOA and another HOA, because oftentimes that happens because some HOAs were right next to each other, and sometimes you know, issues arise. We provide HOA workshops. We have legal forums and workshops. We work with the law offices of Goldschmidt Shoe, PLLC. They specialize in planned communities, HOAs, and condos. We have our website. We have information services. We do partner forums, and of course our service requests and our community information. So this is how to contact us. So we are the Green Valley Council. We have 555 North La Cañada Drive, Suite 117. Our website is gbcouncil.org, and our primary phone is 520-648-1936. So if there's anything we can do, please, you know, drop us a
I don't
line,
want to see
visit
it.
our website, or stop by and see us. So
There's nothing there.
that's it for the presentation. At this point, if anybody has any
I
questions, I'm
cannot
happy to
hear you.
answer it. Sir? That is
You
correct.
deal with it.
No, we have approximately, I would say, between 100 and 102 HOAs in Green Valley currently. Obviously, with the development going into the south of us here, that would be more, but that's a little ways off. Yes, ma'am.
Did you get it up?
So we are actually funded, it's multifaceted funding. So we do have a contract with Pima County, and Pima County provides funding. The funding that Pima County provides accounts for about 30% of our expenses. The other 60% comes from our dues. So our HOA members, they pay $1 a month to be a member of the Green Valley Council. So that's about 60% of our funding. And the other 10% of our funding comes from ancillary funding sources, usually programs or projects that we do. So yeah, a lot of people think that Green Valley that the Green Valley Council is fully funded by Pima County. It is not. They account for about 30% of our expenses. Sir, did you have a question?
That's as far as it reaches.
Correct. $1 a month exactly. $12 a year.
per room?
Correct. Yeah. Sir?
2 questions. So what's your annual budget?
Our annual budget for 2022 is about $272,000.
Give me a brief overview of advantages of being incorporated versus unincorporated.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned this because we have historical archives all the way back to 1973, and the topic of incorporation seems to come up in 5-year cycles. So every 5 years, the community looks at incorporation. And well, I mean, so there's pros and cons, obviously, on both sides. One of the biggest issues is currently we would need a city budget comparable to the city of Nogales, which is generally speaking about our population and our needs. So we're very comparable to the city of Nogales, Arizona, as far as budget. And the city of Nogales, Arizona has a $90 million budget. So $90 million divided by approximately 25,000 Green Valley residents. You can do the math. I'm not great at math, but you can see what we would look for in municipal taxation, in increases in sales tax to fund that $90 million budget. So that's one of the things. Secondly, obviously at that point, we would lose the Pima County Sheriff's Department. We would lose the SAV. We would lose the Green Valley Fire District. We would then be in a position to where we would have to create our own fire department. We would create our own police department. We would take on, there's about 8 or 9 different departments that every municipality is required to have. We would have to go get a mayor, a city council, and a city management office. Now, so there's a lot of expense involved in that. Obviously, we would have to build the city hall. We currently do not have a city hall. We do not have facilities for a city hall. So that's another expense. Realistically, the advantage of incorporation. So number one is political. It is political. So being an incorporated city, obviously you have a little bit more pull with, a little more influence with the county, with the state, with the federal government. You don't have to try as hard. For us, we have to be really adamant. We have to be very vocal when we're trying to get these services and this recognition here in our community. When you're an incorporated city, not so much. It's a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier to work with these other government agencies. As you know, if you read a lot of the projects and the programs and a lot of the funding,
I'm going to the bathroom.
City of Tucson,
I
because they're the
didn't
biggest
give you
and they
a
can
look,
exert
but
the
I
most
will
influence.
now.
So it would give us a little bit more influence. Number two, I think it would just give us a little more oversight. We would have a little bit more control. Like I said, we would be providing our own services rather than getting services here from Pima County or the state of Arizona. So everything would be Green Valley centric. We would have Green Valley Fire District, Fire Department, Green Valley Police Department, things of that nature. So we would have a little bit more control and oversight. But, generally speaking, we don't really see a need. Green Valley, I've been here for 9 months. We have people on our staff that have been here for 28 years. And part of what makes Green Valley unique is that we're a community that we like to do things ourselves. We're not afraid of a little hard work. I've never been in a community that's been so volunteer focused and so volunteer centric. And that's amazing to me, to see so many people who are willing to step up and help people and to give of their time and to give of their energy. And I think that's kind of the spirit of Green Valley. And I think the reason why our form of government has worked for over 50 years is because Green Valley people know what Green Valley people need, and they're not afraid to go out and get it done. But I could talk about this all day, believe me. We have more information at the office. We have other, from years past, propositions. It was actually on the ballot not too long ago. Green Valley residents voted on incorporation, I want to say back in 04 or 06. I'm not too sure. I have the paperwork back at the office, but it was a resounding no. It was not even a close vote.
One of the largest unincorporated.
We are one of the largest, that is correct. We are one of the largest unincorporated in the state. And we are one of, I think, only a handful of communities that has an all volunteer government by
Things
residents.
going okay?
Certainly back. Correct.
recessed it and
Correct. Yeah.
messed around with it. You need more light. There's two, okay. There's a switch right over your head here.
You get,
I'll be out back.
and you instead, but you do pay yearly.
We wholeheartedly agree with you, sir. Yeah. Like I said, we have 25,000 residents in Green Valley. We would need a $90 million budget. So that should be indicative of what we need. But like
You
you
can
said,
go
you know,
back in, Randy is about
we've worked
done
hard over
making
50
noise.
years to make sure that we have the services and the people and the government recognition that we have here in Pima County, here in Green Valley. And, you know, we don't see an improvement in services if we.
I can't chit chat.
That's right. I'm sorry, sir.
Do you know what percentage of that 25?
So currently, you know, and it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because that's kind of something
Thank
we've been seeing over the years.
All I did was
So Green Valley has
fix the
this
email on my computer.
reputation, this image that it's a very seasonal community, and that's not the case anymore. GVR actually took a poll, and they found that 75% of all Green Valley residents
can't
are
hear you.
full-time voting residents. They are Arizona.
What do you
residents.
want?
They are here full time, and what we're seeing,
Arlen,
it's about
what is it now
80%.
that you've
80% of our
interrupted me,
people here
please?
are full-time residents. They're Arizona voters, and this is their primary home. Yes.
It can wait. Go to
Yes,
a
ma'am.
different one. When I'm done, I'll look at them. Shit, now I've lost my connection.
I am amazed at what is there. Took on the responsibility to be a representative. Screamed and whatever, and the communication sometimes doesn't get filtered down in your HOA. Some of the things are getting sent to. So as a representative, when I come to a meeting, meeting that I brought. So they have so many things that you could spend your whole week going to different things and be very educated. Sometimes people don't know. Yet, very conveniently, instead of making
Notary service. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Are you doing anything regarding HUD? Use the same water source off of her.
No, they don't. Like I said, I can't really speak for HUD Bay operations. I don't work. I'm not a geologist or mining engineer. I don't have any association with HUD Bay. What we do is we are an apolitical organization, so we don't take a side on any issue. We don't take a side on gun control. We don't take a side on any of those things. What we do is we convene and we convey information. For example, Freeport, we just had a Mines Forum with Freeport-McMoRan. Those of you familiar, if you look, to our west, you'll see the Freeport-McMoRan Sierrita mine. So again, we don't advocate for anybody. We don't take sides on positions. We provide information that impacts our community, information that impacts our residents. So like I said, Freeport is in our community. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be a part of the Green Valley community at least for the next 80 years, which is the expected life of the mine here in Freeport-McMoRan. So we disseminate the information that we feel that is going to be impactful to our residents, and we let our residents make up their own minds on those types of issues. Yes, ma'am.
My understanding is that the grade so low that they need large aquifer underneath in order to make it profitable to mine.
Again, I'm not familiar with their specific operations. However, if you're interested,
I have asked that question.
Yeah.
In order to make it profitable to mine the ore that is such a low grade, they have to have a large aquifer underneath. Not able to use other methods other than they are using and will use the treatment water.
if anybody's interested in information about the Sierrita operations, we can put you in contact with Freeport-McMoRan. We have contacts. They'll be happy to reach out to you. They have an entire team that does community outreach, and you can get the information directly from them. That's the most accurate information. Yes, ma'am.
How do you sign up for your informational emails on your events and forums?
Call us, email us, or stop on in, either way, and we'll sign you up, and you'll have, basically anything that you need to know. If you have any specific questions, we'll be happy to address those, but we can keep you on our mailing list, and you'll be apprised of everything that's going on in the community. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm still trying to figure this out. So there's 84 HOAs.
Correct.
And each HOA has one person that represents their HOA. So we're desert goes to, so one person is part of that 84.
Correct.
Okay. So, and these 84 people come together.
We do a once a month, we do a board of representatives meeting here in this room. And so we bring all our community partners here as well. So Supervisor Steve Christie is here. Mayor Tom Murphy of Sahuarita is here. We have our commander from the SAV. We have our commander from the Sheriff's Department. We usually have either the chief or the assistant chief from GVFD and half a dozen other community partners. So we do that once a month.
Do they vote?
So our community partners are not voting members. They're here to provide informational updates. They do reports. Obviously, Supervisor Christie, it's very important having him here because he is the representative. He represents Green Valley. He is our supervisor for this district. We are in District 4. He is an elected official. He is elected to the Board of Supervisors. There are 5 Board of Supervisors that oversee Pima County. And so he is the supervisor for our area here in Green Valley District 4. And so part of the importance of having him here is it's a great opportunity. He's the head of the county for us. And so it gives people here at the meetings an opportunity to interact, to ask questions, and, basically to have the opportunity to see him in person and work with them. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a team encouraging those other HOAs to join because they do benefit from our organization?
We have, and we do a lot of outreach. We work with a lot of boards, some of the ones that we're seeing is, we have transitions in boards. We have boards, new people elected to boards all the time. We have a lot of people who, this is their first time living in an HOA. This is their first time being on a board, and they're just kind of not sure what's going on. And a lot of them said, well, we'll look into it, but we're just trying to figure out what we need and what we want to do. But no, it's definitely something that we do outreach. We have an open house every year for our non-members. We introduce them to what we do and how we do it, and kind of some of what we bring to Green Valley. And so, yeah, it's something we actively like to do. So unfortunately, we are running out of time. So if there's one more question or. Yes.
Just sort of a small correction. I believe when you say HOAs, it also includes POAs.
Correct.
Because I'm in a property owners association of over 500 homes, and they belong. So it should be HOA
Correct, yeah. Property owner associations are also members, yes. That is absolutely correct. Well, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Les, for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. So.